Swarms of killer drones are likely to soon be a standard feature of battlefields around the world. And perhaps that is the reason United States of America now advocating and endorsing responsible artificial intelligence measures for militaries across the globe. According to Department of Defense of the United States, the US State Department announced that 47 states have now endorsed a political declaration on responsible military use of artificial intelligence and autonomy that the US government first launched at The Hague on February 16th this year. AI in military is the ability of machines to perform tasks that would otherwise require human intelligence, such as recognizing patterns, learning from experience, drawing conclusions, making predictions, or generating recommendations. Military AI capabilities include not only weapons but also decision support systems that help defense leaders at all levels make better and more timely decisions, from the battlefields to the command and control rooms, and systems related to everything from finance, payroll, the recruiting, retention, and promotion of personnel to collection and fusion of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance data. Before I tell you 10 points initiative US government is putting forth, let's have a look at how the technology has evolved, what types of weapons are being developed, and how the AI regulation debate is unfolding. We see first infusion of artificial intelligence in landmines, which are designed to discharge automatically when a person or object passes on top of them. Were used as early as 1800s during the Civil War in the United States, apparently first invented by Confederate General Gabriel J. Rains, who called them a sub-terra shell. With archaic AI, once put in place, these landmines operate with no human intervention and without discriminating between intended targets and unintended victims. In the 1970s, US developed the Captor anti-submarine mine, which could be dropped from an airplane or a ship and settle on the bottom of the ocean, sitting there until it automatically detonated when sensor on the device detected an enemy target. Starting in the 1980s, dozens of Navy ships began to rely on the Aegis weapon system, which uses a high-power radar system to search for and track any incoming enemy missiles. It can be set on automatic mode so that it will fire off defensive missiles before a human intervenes. The AI technology progressed further in the form of fire and forget homing munitions like the AIM-120 Advanced Medium Range Air-to-Air Missile, which has a radar seeker that refines the trajectory of a fired missile as it tries to destroy enemy planes. Once fired, these cannot be called back. Harpoon subsonic anti-ship missiles operate in a similar fashion with limited autonomy, and same goes with the supersonic BrahMos. A misfire is a disaster. The loitering munition, as extensively used in Russia-Ukraine war, dates back to 1989 when an Israeli military contractor introduced what is known as Harpy, a drone that can stay in the air for about 2 hours, searching over hundreds of miles for enemy radar systems and then attacking them. California-based AeroVironment supplied Switchblade 600 to US military that carry an explosive warhead. Switchblade flies overhead until it finds a tank or other targets and then fires an anti-armor warhead. Human sign-off is still requested before the weapon strikes the target. The Pentagon is now working to build swarms of drones, a network of hundreds or even thousands of AI-enhanced autonomous drones carrying surveillance equipment or weapons. US intends to position drone swarms near China for rapid deployment if conflict breaks out, knock out or at least degrade the extensive network of anti-ship and anti-aircraft missile system China has built along its coasts and artificial islands in the South China Sea. These inexpensive autonomous lethal drones can operate even when GPS signals and communications are jammed. So AI has literally made nuclear obsolete, and these drones have become more destructive without degrading infrastructure that takes many decades to build. Most importantly, these systems, enabled with artificial intelligence, can seamlessly integrate with other military systems and satellites, and even could have power to make self-decisions without human command. And that bothers policy planners not only in US but also in many countries, as China has also built similar systems with advanced lethal capabilities.
Joined by leaders of 7 American companies, we're driving innovation in artificial intelligence, and it is astounding. Artificial intelligence it promises an enormous promise of both risk to our society and our economy and our national security, but also incredible opportunities. Just 2 months ago, Kamala and I met with these leaders, most of them are here again, to underscore the responsibility in making sure that products that they are producing are safe and making them public what they are and what they aren't.
Past and recent behavior of China is worrisome as it does not abide by international institutions and rule of law. Sasha Baker, Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, says the United States has become a global leader in responsible military use of AI and autonomy, with Department of Defense championing ethical AI principles and policies on autonomy in weapon systems for over a decade. The political declaration builds on these efforts. It advances international norms on responsible military use of AI and autonomy, provides a basis for building common understanding, and creates a community for all states to exchange best practices. The Department of Defense has published a series of policies on military AI and autonomy, most recently the Data Analytics and AI Adoption Strategy released on November 2nd. The declaration consists of a series of non-legally binding guidelines describing best practices for responsible military use of AI. These guidelines include ensuring that military AI systems are auditable, have explicit and well-defined uses, are subject to rigorous testing and evaluation across their life cycle, have the ability to detect and avoid unintended behaviors, and that high consequences applications undergo senior level review. The initiative contains 10 concrete measures to guide the responsible development and use of military applications of AI and autonomy. The declaration and the measures and outlines are an important step in building an international framework of responsibility to allow states to harness the benefits of AI while mitigating the risks. The US is committed to working together with other endorsing states to build on this important development. The 10 measures are: states should ensure that military organizations adopt and implement these principles for the responsible development, deployment, and use of AI capabilities. States should take appropriate steps such as legal reviews to ensure that their military AI capabilities will be used consistent with their respective obligations under international law, in particular international humanitarian law. States should also consider how to use military AI capabilities to enhance their implementation of international humanitarian law and to improve the protection of civilian and civilian objects in armed conflict. That senior officials effectively and appropriately oversee the development and deployment of military AI capabilities with high consequences applications, including but not limited to such weapon systems. States should take proactive steps to minimize unintended bias in military AI capabilities. States should ensure that relevant personnel exercise appropriate care in the development, deployment, and use of military AI capabilities, including weapon systems incorporating such capabilities. States should ensure that military AI capabilities are developed with methodologies, data sources, design procedures, and documentation that are transparent to and auditable by their relevant defense personnel. States should ensure that personnel who use or approve the use of military AI capabilities are trained so they sufficiently understand the capabilities and limitations of those systems in order to make appropriate context-informed judgments on the use of those systems and to mitigate the risk of automation bias. States should ensure that military AI capabilities have explicit, well-defined uses and that they are designed and engineered to fulfill those intended functions. States should ensure that the safety, security, and effectiveness of military AI capabilities are subject to appropriate and rigorous testing and assurance within their well-defined uses and across their entire life cycles. For self-learning or continuously updating military AI capabilities, states should ensure that critical safety features have not been degraded through processes such as monitoring. States should implement appropriate safeguards to mitigate risk of failure in military AI capabilities, such as the ability to detect and avoid unintended consequences and the ability to respond, for example, by disengaging or deactivating deployed systems when such systems demonstrate unintended behavior. Hope you like this story. If yes, please like and share. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe to get notified of new videos. Thanks for watching National Defense. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.